Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little 15-minute yoga with Cassandra, and I'm very excited to do this one because she's outside, and as you can see, so am I. It's a beautiful day out. It's like 15 degrees here, so very nice. Perfect weather to do a little workout in. But yeah, I just wanted to record my yoga session and you guys can follow along because I'm going to be doing this in real time. It's 15 minutes and I just thought it was the perfect one to do for a quick stretch and flow since I woke up pretty recently. So give this video a big thumbs up if you are a yogi, and let's just dive right into this lovely morning stretch.
Today's class we'll be doing a morning yoga routine. So this is just a way for you to get your body warmed up after being still and probably a little bit stiff for 6 to 8 hours. So let's start in wide like a child's pose. You're bringing your big toes to touch, knees are about shoulder width distance apart, and you're dropping your head and chest down onto the mat. Make sure you're keeping your shoulders down and away from your ears here, taking deep breaths in and out through the nose, deep into the belly. And over time, your hips will start to lower down over onto your heels. Try to melt your heart down onto the ground. Just gently getting rid of any stiffness into the hips. And we do tend to be a little bit tighter in the morning than you would be in the afternoon or evening, so don't be surprised if you need to bring your knees a little bit closer together or maybe even use a block. Make sure that you're moving slowly and listening to your body, and stay connected to your breath throughout. If you need to take a break, go ahead and do so. So just take about 2 more deep breaths right here. And then let's walk our palms over towards the right. So you're still going to be in your child's pose, but we're just trying to get a little bit more length through the left side of your body. So keep your hips down onto your heels, and you should be feeling a little bit of a stretch from your left armpit all the way down into your left hip. And see if you can relax your shoulders throughout here. No tension through the neck. One more deep inhale, long exhale, and coming back through to center, let's go over to the other side. So you're walking your palms over towards the left this time, trying to get a nice extension through the right side of your body. And the further you crawl your fingertips towards the left, the better and deeper you'll be able to get into this stretch, but make sure you're not overdoing it. We're not looking for anything too intense just yet. Just another breath or so here. And then we'll walk back through to center and come into a tabletop pose. So hips over knees, shoulders over your wrists, and just stretch your right foot back. Feeling a stretch through your heel, Achilles tendon, into the calf, and then switching legs, left toes go back down, extending through that left leg, and we'll come into thread the needle. So as you inhale from your tabletop pose, left fingertips reach up, and as you exhale, swing your left arm through, lowering left shoulder and left ear down onto the mat. Hips stay high. So you're coming into a twist here, and you can keep your palm down onto the mat, or you can lift your right arm and hook your palm, or just rest your palm onto your lower back. Try to keep your neck as relaxed as possible here. You're pressing your belly button towards your back, really hugging in, making the twist come from your lower belly and lower back. Shoulders are still down and away from the ears. Stay connected to your breath. Let's bring right palm back down onto the mat. Inhale, left fingertips reach back up. And then we'll switch sides. Right fingertips reach up, breathe in, and as you exhale, right palm lowers down, right shoulder down onto the mat, right ear also down onto the mat. Twisting onto the other side this time, keep your left palm onto the ground, or maybe just rest your left palm onto your lower back or holding onto your inner right thigh crease. You're lightly hugging your shoulder blades in together here, keeping your hips up high. Stay active through the belly so that you're not caving in into your lower back, causing too much of a sway. You want to keep a nice long spine with just a little bit of a twist. Let's come back through to center. Inhale back into your tabletop pose. And then from here, curling your toes under, come into downward facing dog. So the first downward dog of the day, especially in the morning, you might find is much stiffer than you're used to. So bend your knees as much as you need to, maybe paddling the feet, so bending one knee, straightening the other, shifting your hips from side to side, really any little movements that feel good for you here. You'll want your palms to be shoulder width distance apart and your feet to be hip width distance apart. Don't worry too much about having your heels down onto the mat here. Just keep curling your tailbone up. And then inhale, right leg rises up towards the sky, and go ahead and bend your right knee, opening up that right hip. And again here, you might want to trace some big circles with your knee, just so you can get a little bit of movement into that right hip. So do one more circle just like that. And then lower right leg down, switching sides. Left leg reaches up, inhale. And then go ahead and bend your left knee, opening up through that left hip, and we'll trace those same circles with the knee. So drawing the knee towards your belly and then opening up back up again. Try not to twist your upper body too much here. Just do whatever feels good before setting your left foot back down onto the mat. Shift forward into plank, lowering your hips down low, shoulders over wrists. Take 3 deep breaths here. Lengthening tailbone towards your heels, reaching your heart forward. And just looking a couple inches in front of you, and then chaturanga, lower all the way down onto your belly, and we'll come into Sphinx pose. So bring your forearms down onto the ground. Your elbows are about a few inches forward of your shoulders. And you're reaching your heart forward, broadening through the collarbones. Getting a nice extension through the upper back here. Take one more deep breath, and if you'd like to take this pose deeper, you can press your palms into the mat and maybe see if your elbows will lift off of the ground. If this is too much of a back bend for you, keep your forearms down onto the mat. So you control how deep you go into this back bend. Make sure the pressure is not all going into your lower back. This is really more about the chest, upper back, and shoulders. Let's release back down onto the mat, coming back into downward facing dog. Tailbone curls up towards the sky. Right leg rises, inhale, and then step your right foot in between your palms to the top of the mat. Lower your left knee down, coming into a low lunge. You have the option of keeping your fingertips down onto the mat here, or if you want to come up a little bit higher, you can always rest your palms onto your front right thigh. You're still curling your tailbone under here, so there's not too much of a sway into your lower back. You're just trying to keep the stretch into your left hip flexor, left psoas. And then from here, let's straighten our right leg, coming into half splits, folding over your right leg here, flexing your toes towards your face. And you can choose to keep a flat back here, fingertips down onto the mat, or you can fold over and just let go through the upper body. Try to pull your right hip back, left hip forward, so that both hips stay squared towards the front of the mat. Bend back into your right leg. And then from here, reach back and see if you can hold on to your left ankle with your right wrist, getting really deep into the quads here through that left leg, deep into the psoas as well. You can always use a strap for this as well. And see if you can keep your hips sinking down low. Release your foot. And let's come into side plank. So from here, you're going to float your right leg, stacking it directly over top of your left. Right arm reaches over, bicep along the ear, and coming into the tree pose variation, you're bending your right knee, resting your foot to the inside of your left thigh, pressing your hips up as high as you can, really engaging your obliques here. And then from this pose, we'll be transitioning into Wild Thing. So as lightly as you possibly can, you're going to step your right toes behind you and slowly start to aim your chest up towards the sky, reaching that right arm back behind you. Take one more deep inhale here, feel a nice extension through the front body, and then come back through your plank pose, and as you exhale into downward facing dog, tailbone curls up towards the sky. Coming into the second side, left leg rises up, breathe in, and then step your left foot to the top of the mat, lower your right knee down. We're into our low lunge at first, so maybe just keep your fingertips down onto the mat if there's a lot of stiffness into your hips, or you can rest your palms onto your left thigh, coming in a little bit higher into your lunge. So whatever works for you here. Make sure you're lengthening your tailbone down onto the mat, engaging your lower abdominals as they hug in towards the spine, staying nice and long through the spine so you're not collapsing forward. Half splits from here, straightening through your left leg, pointing your left toes towards your face. Choose to keep a flat back or just fold over that left leg. And again here, you want to remind your left hip to hug back, right hip to come forward. 2 deep breaths. If you need to keep a bend into that left leg, then go ahead and bend it. And let's come into our quad stretch, so bending through your left leg. Go ahead and reach back, holding onto your right ankle with your left hand. And the tendency here as we grab towards our ankle is to lift our hips up high, so see if you can keep them sinking down low. And then release your right foot back down. We're coming into our side plank variation. You're floating your left leg to stack directly over your right, left arm bicep along the ear, and then your left foot comes to the inside of your right thigh, bending at the knee, pressing your hips up as high as you can. See if you can resist the urge to hold your breath here and instead breathe deeper, engaging your obliques. And when you're ready, go ahead and start to step back into Wild Thing, stepping your left toes back behind you, reaching your left arm up and over, trying to get your chest to face up towards the sky. One more inhale here, and then come back through to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a moment here in this downward dog. Shifting forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Press back up into plank pose. Exhale, downward dog. So a little bit of arm strength. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, come up into cobra or upward facing dog, yogi's choice. Exhale, release back down. And this time we'll switch and flip over onto our backs. Starting to unwind from our practice, getting a little bit deeper into the hips. So let's bend our knees, soles of the feet flat onto the mat. And we'll be setting up for bridge pose. So curling your tailbone under, start lifting your hips up towards the sky. And you can interlace your fingers underneath your sacrum using your arms to get a little bit more traction so you can lift your hips and lift your lower back a little bit higher. Feet are hip width distance apart. Keep squeezing your inner thighs together. Relax your neck as much as you can. See if you can get a little bit more height before slowly lowering down one vertebrae at a time. And then from here, cross your right ankle over your left thigh and bring your left knee in towards your chest, coming into reclined pigeon. See if you can keep your sacrum and tailbone down onto the mat here. relaxing the upper body. Flexing your right toes just to protect your knee. Breathing deep into that right hip. And let's slowly release that side. And we'll go explore the second side. So bring your left foot back down onto the mat, uncross your ankle, and this time your left ankle will hook over the top of your right thigh more towards your knee, and you're pulling your right knee in towards your chest. And again, you really need to remind your head and shoulders to stay relaxed here. You're only using a little bit of arm strength. Take 3 deep breaths in and out through the nose. Release that side as well. And from here we're going to be coming into a shoulder stand. So go ahead and lift your hips up overhead. You can use your palms to support your lower back. And you're trying to get your ankles to stack directly over top of your hips. And again here, it's really important to keep the neck as relaxed as you possibly can. If you'd like to explore plow pose from here, you're more than welcome to by just dropping your toes back towards your head, and you can release your arms and palms down onto the mat. Bend your knees if you need to. You might still be a little bit tight through the hamstrings, and that's perfectly fine. Take as long as you need in this pose, and only when you're ready you can softly unwind and come into our Shavasana, our final resting pose. So finding your Shavasana, just take up as much space as you're comfortable taking. Palms facing up towards the sky. Maybe allowing the eyes to close and come back to whatever breath feels natural to you. I hope this practice leaves you feeling energized and ready to take on your day. I thank you so much for doing this class with me.
So the video just ended, and this video didn't have sort of like a concluding salutation, and I really like to end my yoga off with thinking about one thing I'm grateful for. You can do this just to yourself, or you can say it out loud. I like to say things out loud so the universe can hear. I am grateful for the safety of my family during this quarantine, and I'm very grateful that no one in my life is sick, and that I still have the option to see them via FaceTime and know that I feel loved by them. So at this time you can say what you're grateful for. And then I will follow yoga with Kassandra. She always brings your hands to the heart. Deep breath in through the nose and out the mouth. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along next time if you didn't get a chance to this time. Also comment down below what you are grateful for at this moment in time. I will see you guys in my next video.